let's go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide on a Friday afternoon. To people in my neighborhood, tomorrow's trash day. I'm just reminding myself and you. And hope to God it's bulk day because I've been in my garage organizing and building garage furniture all afternoon, and I don't stink, haha, because it was more like danger of cutting off the tip of your finger work than it was like, you know, I think the phrase Doug Stanhope used was farming manure at the equator in a wetsuit kind of work. It's just different. But so I'm in, you know, if you're downwind, you're fine. I had to throw on this is the only shirt I had downstairs, so I had to throw on a shirt quickly because I was a bit messy. Because so, little backstory, welcome to the show, settle in. We got a lot to cover today. Oh my God. As the count goes on, the madness climbs. And we will see in a few days. But especially at 10:30 tonight, because I think the Cortez Masto thing is going to be settled tonight at about 10:30. That said, I've been trying to get my situation here in the house and in the studio and all that kind of stuff. I've been kind of like building this thing as I run, doing the show, you know, like every day trying to lock stuff down and build stuff up and that kind of thing, and go, you know, move to the point like our dear friend Boot and the Eagle suggested, and some others have, that I do like short form videos and that kind of stuff. And I'm too nerdy to just kind of like throw up this screen and go, hey, here's a 5-minute blah, blah, blah that looks exactly like the other show. So it's me being weird. But anyways, I'm setting up a little setup in my garage where I can shoot videos like that specifically for short form stuff. And yes, and this is in honor of Rip Batman. Yes. So, well, if you guys weren't watching earlier, check out the morning show. And there was a very sweet picture that Mark Hamill posted. Just saying. So, anyways, I have to get the whole garage in order so that I can get a camera far enough away from me to be able to shoot what I'm doing. And so that requires, there's a lot of shit out there. It's a full garage. And so I had to come up with an entirely new organizational system. So I did it. And I'm not going to stop doing the long form. This is for the people who don't have time for the chunks that we put out or the other stuff. Like, yeah, yes, Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, the voice of Batman for a couple of generations. And so, you know, in honor of him, that's right. So anyways, let's get on with the show because there's a lot to cover today, and I'm never going to be able to get through all of it. I warned you guys about this earlier, and it's just the fucking fuck. Okay, so first up, Diamond and Silk have got their spies out in Maricopa County. I think that's where they are, right? Looks like history's repeating itself. Same script, different day. Diamond Silk, same script, different day. Maricopa, yeah, this is where they. So they're outside. They have they have their side piece out there. A correspondent for Real America's Voice. He's wearing the hat, so he's official, and he's out there covering this. And there's a cop car, so obviously they're covering.
Our culture here at Capital One includes diversity and inclusion,
nice,
which is really important to me.
They're just playing this before the Diamond and Silk clip just to anger people.
The company embodies development. And
that's
having
nice.
Hands-on resources is one of the best advantages as far as our leadership team, our career development center, and
it's an ad. This is a. There, you can't click past this.
I know the sky is the limit as far as my career.
Good for her. Nice. Whatever.
Out here at the Maricopa Elections Office,
and they put up, if you notice, at the Maricopa Elections Office, they have put up a giant fence where it's the sheriff's office. Yeah. Well, you know, normally there are no security measures around a sheriff's office, and
4 Penske trucks coming in, apparently delivering ballots.
No, they are actually full of FEMA coffins. Are you getting a call while that's happening?
Yeah, they parked this here for us.
I guess so.
Yeah, they parked the sheriff's car just there for you so that you can't see the truck, that you could see it coming in, you could see the license plate, you could see the driver, you could shout questions. You could ask them when they leave, what the fuck? Yeah, but you couldn't, I guess, film boxes or something? Oh, yeah, you can. Never mind. Conspiracy thwarted by a bad parking job. Son of a bitch. Somebody called the Illuminati. That is a tone that QAnon says is a mind control. Just hearing that beeping noise makes me feel okay about everything, and that maybe I don't need to take to the streets with a hatchet and an AR-15. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm relaxing.
Yeah, so it's at 2800 36th Street is where they're warehousing them.
Yes, at the sheriff's office where there's concertina wire, so fuckheads like you can't jump in there and fuck with the count.
2800 36th Street. It's out on University by the airport. It's following one of the Penske trucks.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I got it. They're dude, please tell me they returned the truck because they're done.
Just left the elections office.
Where it is now empty. It's making a right. Dear God, Carrie Lake might have a chance. I'm hanging back so they don't know I'm here. They're trying to lose me. They're not. They picked up a hitchhiker. They killed the hitchhiker. They threw the bones out the window. They're driving to New York to pick up more ballots. It's like evil ballot ripoff Smokey and the Bandit. God damn it. There's somebody in a that looks like a hybrid of some sort getting in between. It's probably a liberal running interference.
At the light, use the left lane to turn onto East University Drive.
What the shit? Wait a minute. How in the fuck? How are you using mapping if you're following someone and you don't know where they're going? All right. He just punched in Starbucks because he's like, we know where they're going. Yeah, that's the building where they gather the votes together. You should wait. I suggest they wait there all night if they have to.
Just trying to keep an idea of chain of custody, what's happening with this election, make sure we don't see any of the fraud that we saw in 2020. But
well, you didn't see any fraud in 2020, dumb fuck, so mission accomplished. Secondly, you saw a truck go from where it was supposed to go back to where it was supposed to come from, and fucking Jesus Christ.
I don't have high hopes at this point.
Well, believe me, we're all disappointed with your detective skills as well. Obviously, they pulled into this warehouse, lost you, and drove out the other side. Why are you not circling the place? Where's the rest of your team? You should have 9 golf carts, and everyone should be covering all the exits and on walkie-talkies. Charlie, code 17. That's the queue number. I made that up myself. Code 17, Charlie. I've got a truck coming out this side. It's not a Penske truck. It's I think it's a pickup truck. It's just a sketchy looking guy. And another person, yeah, they're not coming out of the warehouse area. They're coming around. Oh, that's you. Oh, that's you. Okay. Oh, you're pulling up? Okay. Anyways, how you guys doing? Have you seen any fraud? I'm still talking. I gotta let go of the button. Did you guys see any fraud? I'm watching for fraud. Okay, do another lap. I'm gonna sit here and watch for fraud. Sorry. I love this thing. Hold on. I was on the wrong channel the whole time. I was talking to myself. Ow! Can't push that button. It's very scary. Anyways.
Based on what we've seen so far.
Based on what you've seen so far, you've seen a truck go to where it's supposed to and leave and go back to where it's supposed to. You stupid asshole. Oh my God, not University and Street. That's the corner of election and fraud. Dead end. That's so poetic. Let me take a shot of that. And then it'll be like, oh my God, like this election's a dead end. It's like so much that. Oh, what a bunch of dicks. So that's from Diamond and Silk's channel. I don't know why that guy is a Diamond and Silk correspondent. Who can say? Now, there's a couple people we haven't heard from, and I want to I just want to jump in. And again, because it's an election week and because we got so much to cover, I reserve the right to bow out of any of this shit, especially if they're longer clips, because some of them I'm already pre-bored. I'm already tired of it, even though I haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean? Because we know what the fuck's going to happen. So let's, I'd like to show you, ladies and gentlemen, the shrinky-dink version of Jesse Waters, Ben, Where'd My Beard Go, Shapiro. You remember he was trying on masculinity for like 3 days. It was very exciting. He almost went to Home Depot and bought 2 boards in a plastic bag. It was super exciting. I found the title of this one stands out, and I think a lot of you are going to understand why. If he can't ride a bike, he can't run the country.
So yesterday, Joe Biden stumbled out to the microphones to take a triumphant victory lap. And listen,
he didn't stumble out. He walked out to the fucking microphone. He walked out. He didn't stumble. There's not video of a stumble. There's not even reference to a stumble. You're just being a dick. It's just ageist bullshit. But please continue.
Listen, you can't blame the guy too much. The fact is that Joe Biden's party overperformed in this election in a way that no president has overperformed in a midterm election since George W. Bush in 2002. And that was
no, actually, we're going back further than that, to Kennedy.
Literally on the heels of 9/11. This was, by historical standards,
the Democrats kicked ass.
A win for Joe Biden, and he's going to treat it that way. So Joe Biden goes out there.
He's not treating it that way. He's describing it as such.
And he says, it was a good day for democracy.
We had an election yesterday. And it was a good day, I think, for democracy.
You'll notice that was a very clear statement. It was a good day for democracy. He didn't fumble the word democracy like Shapiro pretended he did, because Ben Shapiro is a piece of shit.
And I think it was a good day for America.
So Joe Biden, he finishes there by starting to cough, and then he says he has a little horse, like Lil Sebastian on Parks and Recreation, which...
Yeah, that's right. We all got the reference.
Apparently he rides around the White House garden in his off hours. It's funny how...
have you ever thought of writing for Greg Gutfeld?
The democracy is at stake stuff went immediately to democracy is alive, well, thriving, everything's amazing. Almost...
Yeah, because the voters turned up.
It's as though it was an election ploy, this whole democracy.
No, as if it was a motivating factor that worked.
Was at stake stuff. But the real message that Joe Biden was there to give yesterday is that he is not changing course, not one iota, not one bit. This is validation of everything that he has ever done or ever will do.
Yeah. By the way, this would be the straw Superman, I suppose, method of argument, where you just blow someone's argument about their current strategy up to, like, I am perfect and all-knowing. Basically, what Ben Shapiro is trying to do is take any rhetoric from a Democrat and pretend like they speak like Donald Trump. While, by the way, cradling Trump's balls in, I guess, a free hand.
And there's a president who basically lucked into his position by virtue of COVID.
Oh, he did? Oh, he did? He lucked into it? Okay. Why? Because the other people he fought against didn't have a shot because they got COVID? No, that wasn't it. Because Trump's such a fuck up that the country was reeling from the fact that he shit the bed on COVID. He was running against someone who was wholly incompetent. So, and COVID pointed that out. Is that no?
An incompetent campaign by his opponent, and the fact that he was able to lock him.
An incompetent campaign. Yeah, all he did was show what he'd actually done and then exaggerate what he hadn't.
Himself in a basement for 6 months.
We were all in basements for 6 months, dick fuck.
And who has proceeded to run the country directly into the ground.
No. No. Have you seen the stock market today? Have you seen the inflation numbers? Have you seen job growth? Have you seen the unemployment package? Have you seen the infrastructure bill? Like, we're literally, there is nothing that in the infrastructure bill that couldn't have happened 3 years ago. Nothing. Not a fucking thing, except it had to get passed.
And here he is basically saying that he gets that voters are still frustrated, but... So he's...
What was that noise?
And here he is basically saying that he gets that voters are still frustrated, but... So he's asked about...
What? Oh, is he going backwards through puberty? I think he was shocked by that noise coming out of his face.
And here he is basically saying that he gets that voters are still frustrated, but... So he's asked about this. Here's...
Jesus Christ. And you thought his normal speaking voice was like nails on a chalkboard. Holy shit. Professional broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen, with a nice built-out studio that he goes to every day and reads off his laptop like a nerd who won't shut up in study hall.
That's what he had to say.
And another thing that we know is that voters spoke clearly about their concerns, about raising costs, the rising costs that they're, and the need to get inflation down. There's still a lot of people hurting. They're very concerned. And it's about crime and public safety. And they send a clear and unmistakable message that they want to preserve our democracy and protect the right to choose in this country.
Okay, so he said...
All right. Break it down.
Says that he understands the frustrations, but in reality, what just happened...
Excuse me, it's pronounced but...
is that we are restoring the soul of the country. And this is the world-beating, I am an FDR, LBJ, Barack Obama figure from a doddering old man. The soul of...
He doesn't... Do you think he realizes how lame it is that he picks on Biden's age and his stutter, obviously, and yet his party and the people he supports are constantly getting dunked on by this doddering old man? It's kind of amazing to me. It's like shit talking your opponents in a sporting event after they shoot nothing but 3-pointers and dunks, and whatever, stretch.
of the country is being restored because John Fetterman is in the Senate or something.
No, because Democrats will have control of the Senate, and therefore they can appoint judges. You're a fool. This is fun.
I said we're going to restore the soul of the country, begin to treat each other with decency, honor, and integrity. And it's starting to happen. People are, the conversations are becoming more normal.
By the way, this is absolutely true. For the first time after this, and in a little bit like, they didn't want to jump into it right away, but leading up to this, everybody was, you're starting to see people on Fox News going, it's time to move past Trump. And we've got some clips that show that, which is so fun. And watching, more and more people on more Trump-leaning networks and right-wing networks, and more Republicans openly voicing that it's time to move on from Trump, and people want people who can work together and that kind of shit, which, by the way, totally hamstrings the Desantis methodology going into 2024, because that's going to look like a relic comparatively.
Becoming more, how can I say it, decent.
Everyone's becoming more decent now. Why, it's the sun is shining, gang. 4 days ago.
No, not everyone. You're not. But it's your job. It's like my job is to be a wise ass, and your job is to be kind of a sniping prick. Don't worry, you won't lose your job. It's a niche. It's going to stick around. It's just that there was a big recognition in the voting, and you can tell this by the parity between the parties, the narrowing of it anyways, that there is an abject rejection currently going on in the electorate against the extremes, against the polarizing, against the energy of Trump. And again, the votes for DeSantis and Kemp both benefited from fuck Trump votes from Republicans more than anything else.
The end of the republic was at hand. You understand that we didn't just, apparently, according to Joe Biden, we didn't just avoid catastrophe. The sun is now shining.
The sun is shining, actually. It does that every day, most time. Sometimes it's overcast, but you can get just as bad a sunburn if you stay out long enough.
The world is a bright place. We went from a world that was shot through a dingy red lens to a world shot through a yellow lens with beautiful.
I'll have you know that people were talking about the potential for things to go really south, especially with as many election deniers as were running, and that was a concern, and that concern was answered by the voter. On the other hand, Donald Trump, before and now after this election, is shit-talking the United States as being in decline and a third world country. The titular head of the Republican Party is shit-talking the United States on Veterans Day. But Biden, because he's like, look, this is a consequential election. And then the electorate showed up and he went, good. We didn't, we may not have trounced it one way, but they didn't trounce us. And, there's a conversation to be had. We can reach across the aisle. Maybe civility has come back. That's the sun shining part. By the way, the sun shining is not, yeah, we won, we got our way, we can steamroll everything. That's the interesting thing. Because what Biden is saying is not, the sun is only shining when we are in full charge of everything. He's saying democracy has a shot because people are making their choices, and increasingly the choices were people who can talk back and forth. That, the sun that we're talking about is fucking normalcy, decency, genuine argument, but not vilification and hammer attacks, which is the fucking direction everybody thought this was heading a couple of weeks ago, except me, but you know what I mean.
Beautiful sunlight streaming into your warm, cozy kitchen, and Joe Biden sitting there.
In a dark, dingy studio with the word Ben Shapiro behind him, where the floor is barely visible and you'll trip and stub your teeny little toesy toes.
Sniffing your hair. Everything is great, guys. Amazing how fast things switched. It's just...
I'd rather have someone sniff my hair, especially if they're not really sniffing my hair. They're leaning forward to go, hey, you're going to be just fine. And you take a still shot of in between where they're not actually speaking and go, hair sniffer. I'd rather have that than a prick who grabs women by the pussy. And brags about it. This made-up hair sniffing bullshit that they go on all the fucking time is gross. It's pervy and projection on their part. And secondarily, it's meant to equalize and eliminate the criticisms of Trump as a serial sexual assaulter who fucking admits it.
Just wow. Can you feel your soul beginning to grow? Can you feel?
All right. This is going to be a whingy, sarcasm fest. And basically, you lost. You lost, Ben. You pretended to be on the fence about Trump and you're not, and your group lost. So and anybody happy about this is going to be very upset. Now, there is wrong or something like that. Now, yeah, we've got some stuff coming up. Let's just go to this next, because we've gone to. Now I know what you're thinking. Wow, he looks like he's gotten plenty of sleep and everything's going his way. The mess is earning his name right now. And partly it's because everybody is yelling at him and yelling at all the prognosticators, which is like red wave, ready red wave, red wave, red wave. All the red wave people are getting a fucking earful every time they pick up their phone. Now, the reason I wanted to look at this one is, he was in Florida, and then I guess he came back. This looks like the regular background. But he's not in Arizona. But he's got somebody on the ground in Arizona Not like Diamond and Silk does, obviously, but he's got somebody there who's going to give him the inside skinny on what's going there. Let's see who it is.
You know, guys, what's so strange is here we are coming toward the weekend, and we still don't have results out of Arizona, and we don't have results out of Nevada. Inexplicable delays. Now, in
No, explicable. Very explicable.
Arizona, there were problems with the counting,
No, with tabulating.
on election day itself.
With tabulating machines. Not the counting. Not the voting. Just the tabulating.
Specifically in Maricopa County. And remember, Maricopa County, very important county, the Phoenix area. But in Nevada, where those problems were not reported, here we are days later, and they're still, quote, counting.
Quote counting. They're actually counting.
How long does it take to count? So I thought Debbie and
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of these Republican groups that run these counties are a little slow on the draw. Maybe because they, along with the local Republican pollsters, were talking to each other and finding out that it's not going your way. And so they're trying to slow roll this and create the red mirage idea. And then the longer they can keep that, drag it out, the more they can make people think there's something weird going on, even though these are counties run by Republicans.
I could talk a little bit about the problems that we have in these, seemingly, again, the interesting, honey, that these problems are in swing
Did he call me honey?
states.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I don't know if
Oh, it's Debbie. Interesting. Debbie's got her hair down. She's got big hoop earrings. When she's away from Dinesh, she gets all dolled up. Debbie never dresses up and wears perfume when she's around the house. She never asks for a second cup of my coffee.
if it's just because we are focused on them because they're swing states, or if somehow mysteriously the problems tend to develop in precisely the states which are going to deliver to us in this case. I mean, look, if Adam Laxalt beats Cortez Masto in Nevada and Blake Masters wins in Arizona, we have the Senate. We're not even dependent on the Herschel Walker race.
Yeah. Blake Masters is not winning. Like, that's just goofy. Look at her face. She knows that's just fucking ridiculous.
In Georgia. Now, if we lose one of those, I think we're going to
Both.
win the Nevada race with Laxalt. I don't know what's going to happen with Blake Masters. If Blake Masters loses, we will
By the way, there's going to be a recount in a couple of these, and they're going to make a big deal out of it, too.
be then depending on Herschel Walker to win in the runoffs in early December. So, but talk a little bit about the New York Times and its kind of
Yeah. So
Yeah, the mainstream media is full of shit. Cite the mainstream media.
how Republicans are making a big deal out of nothing.
yeah, so it says voting machine problems in Arizona fuel right-wing fraud claims, right? So basically, I heard Carrie Lake yesterday say that there are still 600,000 votes that have not been counted. Can you believe that?
No, I mean, it was like 280,000.
600,000?
Yeah, I think you're 3 days late on your, I think that was like Wednesday.
So, and she's getting very, very close
Yeah, no.
to winning,
No, she's not.
and or she's only a few thousand
26,000 votes.
votes behind.
Yeah, 26,000.
So anyway, but what happened is about a quarter of the voting sites had some type of irregularity. I mean, they couldn't read the print, the ink wasn't dark enough. I mean, they just had all kinds of issues. So,
It's almost like after 2020, Republicans who control these areas were fucking with the elections, trying to make them as inefficient as possible, and therefore to allow for this kind of seeds of doubt so they could just take over. Weird.
Kerry has been urging people, vote on election day, vote on election day.
Yeah, like a moron.
And unfortunately, people that did go on election day, some of them were turned away and they had no recourse, right? So they didn't.
No, 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 no. No, 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 yes. No, no, yeah. Nobody was turned the fuck away. They all got to vote. The people that came out of those places that they watched footage of, all those people simply just had to drop their ballot in a slot and it was tabulated later. It wasn't a shredder. This is nonsense. She's making this up out of whole cloth. Even the people she cites don't claim this.
Actually, their vote didn't count, basically.
Yes, it did.
So that's a problem in America.
Also, how are they turned away? Give me fucking one person, one name. And if you bring up one of these people like, I showed up and they said I'd already voted. So I was like, nah. And they went, what'd you say? I didn't know. It says right here you already voted, that you turned in your mail-in vote. It does. It says that. That's fine. It says that. I must have I forgot. That's how And then they walk outside. I was turned away. Somebody said I already voted. Why don't you call a cop? I just don't. I'm too upset.
Maricopa County.
This is a bunch of maggots who tried to vote twice.
They need to fix this because, so it says a series of technical glitches. This is the New York Times. A series of technical glitches disrupted ballot counting on Tuesday at about 1 in 4 voting centers in Republican-led Maricopa County.
Huh. So you're saying fish doesn't stink from the head? Huh. Must be like moles or something that got in. Maybe there's Democrats that snuck in. It's like Antifa on January 6th. 7 years ago, they gained a lot of weight and got type 2 diabetes and grew a bunch of facial hair and wore red hats daily and put stickers on their truck that said, I blame Biden, and drove around, the Rachel Dolazols of MAGA and pretended. And then just so they could get close enough so they could shred someone's second ballot. What?
Arizona. And then it says rekindling embers of baseless voter fraud claims in the right-wing media and politicians. Well,
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can say baseless.
Well, it means that there's no basis for those beliefs, especially in places like Maricopa County, because they had multiple recounts and it's Republican run. So if the fix was in, it would have arguably leaned Republican, would it not?
Because when things like this happen, what else
Nothing is happening.
are we going to say?
That machinery has an issue and that multiple times over elections in the past, this has occurred. And as long as people's votes count, who gives a fuck?
I mean, can you imagine if it was the other way around?
It has been the other way around.
These people would be going nuts. They would. So anyway.
No. We would go, are they still counting them? They had machine problems at one of the precincts, but they're still counting them, right? Yep. Okay. What do you want to order for lunch?
Okay, so it's really annoying, I guess.
It is. It is annoying. You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing. That's the thing with democracy. It should not be. First and our founding fathers said that a democracy should not be annoying. If I wanted to be annoyed, I would watch this fucking dude. Okay.
And when they claim that we're, baseless claims of this and that, but yet they don't fix their machines. They don't fix.
Yeah. And they and their means Republicans, in case you're having trouble with the pronouns in this situation.
Their vote, their ability to have a well-run election. I don't know why they don't do that.
I think you take a look at the party that's in charge and you vote out that party so that different people, possibly not in that party, who don't give a fuck about how government is run, maybe are replaced by people who are in a party that does. Huh. It's almost like the solution is it's like right there.
I mean, you had problems with the tabulating machines in Maricopa County. By the way, there was a county in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, that ran out of paper. So think about...
Oh my God. A county in Pennsylvania, the whole county ran out of paper. How will the children make airplanes? What about my math homework? There's no paper. We've killed all the trees. It's Lorax County in Pennsylvania, for those of you keeping track.
About that. And when these are close states, remember that in 2020, the margin in Arizona was something like 11,000 votes. So it's...
Uh-huh. And it's double that right now. So, it's even less, but it sounds like twice as many Republicans just decide to fuck this off right now.
It's not as if this doesn't make a difference. When you have, these aren't glitches if they're delivering the election one way or the other.
Well, again, why would Republican-run districts glitch to throw the Republicans out of office?
If you're able to discourage even a small percentage of people from voting...
Okay, fucko. All Trump did, and all these assholes did, was discourage people from voting. What the fuck do you think 2,000 Mules did? It discouraged people from voting. They don't trust it. Why the fuck would you get in your car and only show up on one day, and if the weather sucks, you gotta stand in line in the fucking rain because you don't trust mail-in and you don't trust early voting, even if you do it in person, like anybody gives a rat fuck. And they're in the vote... Jesus Christ, they're so anti-voting, I'm surprised they haven't been hired by TYT at this point.
Wow, you're securing you're kind of basically rigging the election, so...
Yes, okay, so, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they've confessed to a crime. The Mess and Debbie have now confessed to rigging the election for Democrats. Just...
The impact has to be considered. The second...
Maybe you should have thought of that before you released the book and the movie.
Second point to remember here in 2022, who is running the election in Arizona?
Jesus Christ. In the troubled areas, Republicans. It's almost as if in 2020, Donald Trump talked to people and went, if they cheat, why don't we just cheat? Even though there was no sign that Democrats were cheating. So we're just cheating back. So I'm just going to buy a bunch of votes. And this dude, Rasmussen, who hangs out here and is always blowing me, says that all I need are like 3 million votes. So let's just buy that. And maybe that'll extrapolate into some more. And that'll keep us afloat during the whole thing. And some of those people are still in office in Maricopa County.
Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State. Now, Kari Lake said from the beginning of the campaign.
So our complaints about Brian Kemp when he was Secretary of State running against Stacey Abrams the first time, so you're suddenly on our side about this shit?
Katie Hobbs, you should step down. You can't run an election that you're running in.
Tell that to Brian Kemp. And also, by the way, whoever the Republican senator that just won in Missouri, was it?
And yet Katie Hobbs like, no. This reminds me a little bit of these, jurors in D.C. in the January 6th trials where they're like, yeah, I work for the government. Yeah, I have my company has contracts with the Capitol, but you know what? I can be objective. So in other words, here.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is like. Great analogy. Well done. Nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about.
You've got
made up people say things that are like what I think other people that I made up in my head think and say.
An apparatus conducting the election that has
apparatus.
A stake in the...
Unless it's something that eats you, in which case, unless you're talking about a fleshlight.
Election. So I think...
That, I would call a fleshlight an apparatus. I would. That's why they scare me.
I think that concerns about this, and by the way, no one is saying that they stole the election in 2022.
What the? No one, motherfucker. What? She's even amazed. What the? What? What do you think 2000? Since when? Yeah, yes, that's exactly what his book and movie say, and that's exactly what the people who just got fucking thrown in jail for not giving up their fake FBI source that does not exist. That's what they sell.
Carrie Lake and me and others, we've been very responsible in highlighting these problems and saying that they need to be fixed. And one of the things that Carrie Lake goes, listen, if I get in, if I'm elected, or when I'm elected, I'm going to make sure that this kind of nonsense.
If you're elected, there's no nonsense. And again, that's the problem with Carrie Lake and the other Trumpies. It's a totally cool election if I get elected, but if I lose, it's a fucking setup.
Doesn't happen again.
Feel it?
Jesus. That's fucking amazing. Hold on. Cancel. I don't need to see Huckabee. Nobody does. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. It's a Friday show. Tomorrow on the radio show, Philip Bittner's going to be joining us from Kharkiv and updating us on what's going on in Kherson, which is literally live happening right now. The Ukrainians have taken back the city of Kherson in Kherson Oblast, the capital city of the bigger state. Oblasts are like states. And I don't doubt that we're going to start hearing about attacks across the Dnipro in the next 24, 48 hours. But you've got 40,000 to 60,000 Russian troops that are bugging out on foot out of Kherson. It's going to be an amazing story, so tune in tomorrow for that if you want to. Now, and don't forget to like and subscribe and stuff. Now, can I take a break from the election stuff to go back in time? Or as Huey Lewis and or one of the news would say, back in time, to a little shop somewhere in Delaware where the fella comes down here, Mr. McIsaac, and he's paying a trip over to Fox News Digital. Hunter Biden laptop whistleblower speaks out on Fox News. Now, they've given him all of 4 minutes and 18 seconds. So clearly, it will be chock full of juicy tidbits and not just an excuse to use him and give him victim status as a way of boosting the illusion that the Hunter Biden laptop actually exists. And to remind everyone, John Paul McIsaac cannot see 6 inches past his face. Almost, never mind. And he couldn't pick Hunter Biden out of a laptop, couldn't pick the two quote-unquote FBI agents that came to his office out of a laptop. And even if they were real FBI agents, which I doubt, he lied to them about what he was keeping because they said, we're going to need the laptop and everything. And he kept the hard drive for himself and made copies. Gorgeous. Ruining, by the way, the chain of evidence and making sure that nothing that ever shows up having anything to do with the Hunter Biden quote-unquote laptop is ever used in a court of law because of fruit of the poison tree and lack of an evidence chain. And it's fucking hilarious. For all the blathering about we're following the chain of evidence about ballots, this goofy bullshit is hilarious. So here we go. I want to hear what he has to say, and then we'll jump back. This is only a couple minutes.
That's when
Also, by the way, I don't know why this jumps in the middle of this fucking thing. Like, they just pick up half sentence in.
I guess when I describe in my book, American Injustice,
which, I've got to get on tape.
My battle to expose the truth. I describe
my battle to expose the truth.
How it was just any other customer with a lot of disgusting stuff on his computer until
it was. So most of his customers have disgusting stuff on their computer.
His father announced his candidacy for president. And that's when I started to get nervous because Hunter was in possession of a piece of paper that said that I was allowed to go through 3 of his laptops and recover data from them. And I just figured.
No, whoever posed as Hunter Biden that showed up at your office apparently has that.
It was a matter of time before the Biden fixer-upper service was going to swing by the shop realized what I had seen and taken care and disposed of the laptop, possibly disposed of me. So
Get the fuck out of here. Holy shit. It's the Bidens, not the fucking Corleones. It's not Trump either. Who cares? Look, this asshole has literally dreamt up the Clinton body count and laid it over like, well, it's just a Democratic body count. Get the shit out of here. Nobody cares.
So that's kind of when my fears started to rise.
When you were watching the dirty stuff, I don't know if that feeling was fear.
As the summer progressed, after it became my property, and I realized that a lot of what was in the news pertaining to Hunter Biden and Burisma.
Also, by the way, I'd like to point out that allegedly, two of them were totally fucked, and then the third one was fucked, but he literally, allegedly anyways, according to his, his story has changed a bunch, but that he said, this one's damaged, but I can get the data off of it. The copy of the data is not your property. The data is not your property. The physical thing might be because it's taking up space in your shop, but you can blank it and keep the physical thing. But that doesn't mean you own anything you find on it. And that's why I don't know why nobody is taking their shit to this asshole's shop anymore, because he's still working on that same 2011 Mac Pro that he's been working on for fucking years. What is taking so long? I'm picturing like me from 10 years ago going, dude, I dropped that thing off. It's mine now. What the fuck are you talking about? Give me my desktop back.
I had seen on the laptop, and what I had seen was a lot of money exchanging hands for what appeared to be a lot of favors from the State Department all the way up to the office of the vice president. So
no, he didn't.
So I knew that I needed to get this to the authorities for fear of my life, but also because this is the kind of corruption that needs to be exposed and be held accountable for. And it wasn't until later that.
So you called the FBI field office, or you went over there, you called the news and said, hey, I found this Hunter Biden laptop. I'm taking it over to the FBI today, and I want you guys to film me doing it, kind of like Blue Thunder, so that nothing happens to me. Oh, no, you didn't? You made multiple copies, and you contacted your dad, who contacted the FBI in upstate New York, allegedly, and then you called Rudy Giuliani's lawyer?
That I realized that, that we should live in a country where a citizen should be able to go to the authorities without fear of retribution or retaliation.
You do. You did. Nothing happened to you, fucko. You're being interviewed on Fox Nation. This is a fucking fart air conspiracy fantasy you live in. Nobody cares. And again, fake laptop, never happened. Bullshit.
And that did not happen to me. And
what do you mean what didn't happen to you? That you couldn't go for fear of reprisal? No one can legislate your emotions, dumb fuck.
And I'm on a quest to make sure that doesn't happen. And in the book,
it didn't. Quest over. Congratulations. You've won the Legend of Zelda, the McHenry edition.
I hopefully show what happened to me, and it's a cautionary tale to be careful of your alphabet agencies and your mainstream and social media.
All right, edit. That was an edit. They cut off the top, whatever the fuck the question was, and then that was a hot edit. What did they cut out? Look at this.
Be careful of your alphabet agencies and your mainstream and social media. I'm also hoping.
He was getting into difficult legal areas. And also, your alphabet agencies, you mean FBI, CIA, DOJ, FEMA, KGB, CCP? What the fuck are you talking about?
Hoping that where on the left they tried to make an example of me. I had the IRS audit me for $57 from 2016. I had my unemployment that I paid into with my business for 10 years denied for over a year until I had to write a letter to my governor.
It's your own shop. And what happened after you wrote a letter to your governor? You got it? That's never happened to anyone before. No one got audited over $57.
Tax and
That's just garbage.
jabs and an effort to keep me quiet.
Yes.
Pay up this $57 or you sleep with the fishes.
Yeah, that's why Hunter Biden set you up, because the IRS wanted $57.
All these efforts to make an example of me. I'd like to.
No one's making an example of you. You know who's making an example of John Paul McIsaac? John Paul McIsaac and Fox News. And Eric Bolling. Nobody cares. If he didn't bring himself up, nobody would. He could go back to having his shop and all that kind of shit, but he's selling a book.
To kind of turn that around, and I'd like to be an example for those that are in a
Hal, where'd you find this nugget? This is on Fox News's. He's on Fox News Digital.
similar situation, that have an opportunity to blow a whistle, that it's okay to trade your fear for courage. There's going to be at least half a nation that's going to stand behind you when you make that decision. That's a tricky one.
All right, they're cutting out the questions. Secondly, no. At least half the nation is not going to back you because you think you're a fucking whistleblower.
So I'm getting a little impatient with with expecting the Department of Justice to hold the Bidens accountable.
Yeah, okay, asshole. Thanks to you and Rudy Giuliani, it's never going to happen. Even if the laptop was real, which it isn't, and even if you actually copied all those files off of an actual laptop that wasn't manipulated before it was handed to you, which you didn't, even if all this was true, the sheer fact that your fantasy about living in some sort of, your own version of a Mission Impossible fucking movie has corrupted the chain of evidence on everything found on that fucking laptop to the point where it's useless in a court of law. All of it. Anything found from it will get thrown out. Even if it's tied to something else. It's your fucking fault. If Hunter Biden actually gets away with a crime, it is the fault of John Paul McIsaac and Rudy Giuliani. It's their fault. Because Rudy Giuliani, even when he had the hard drive, was refusing to give it to the New York Post and others for months. And then when it didn't work, he still fucking hung on to multiple copies of it. And people don't even know which fucking copy they have. There was no, remember that moment when Matt Gaetz was like, I would like to enter the data from, the Hunter Biden laptop into the thing. And they went to break and they came back and he's like, elements that are said to have been from the Hunter Biden laptop. And they're like, yeah, fine. Because it's useless. Even Matt Gaetz introducing that hard drive into the congressional record dirties the chain of evidence. These fuckers, can you imagine going, Your Honor, let's see. Your Honor, I have before me a knife that we present is the murder weapon. Now, we understand there are no stab wounds on the victim, but hear me out. This is the murder weapon. Well, it's not the murder weapon. It's a copy of the murder weapon. We 3D printed a copy of a knife that was copied. Somebody mailed me the 3D printing files for a knife that looks vaguely like this. I made a couple of changes to make it look scarier. And then we printed this out. And I would like to enter this into evidence as the murder weapon. But I would also like to stipulate that no one do any forensic testing on it because they will not find any DNA on it because it's a third generation copy. And that would be prejudicial against the prosecution I'm trying to make, Your Honor. That's where we are with this shit. That, honest to God, that is as strong an analogy as I can put forward for the Hunter Biden laptop, bullshit hard drive nonsense. Garbage.
So a couple of weeks ago, we filed a new lawsuit, and we've included Hunter Biden and the campaign to elect Joe Biden in that lawsuit. So
for what? Making you feel scared when you met with the fake FBI guys that Rudy's friends sent to you?
again, I'm hoping to be a thorn in a side until there's some accountability.
Yeah, you are the thorn in the side of justice. If there's any accountability to be had, congratulations. You fucked the whole thing up.
And if the Justice Department wants to punt on this, and Weiss in Delaware doesn't want to, wants to go soft. I didn't go to the FBI for a crackhead playing with a gun. I didn't go to the FBI for human trafficking because I really wasn't looking at porn.
I don't believe you. And by the way, you mean in relation to this, you weren't looking at porn? Maybe were you looking at porn at other? Have you ever looked at porn? Your Honor, he opened this line of questioning.
I went to the FBI because of a pay-for-play scheme being run out of the office of the vice president. That includes
that in tens of thousands of documents, you magically went to the emails that managed to survive from the busted laptop that supposedly make you think that that's what actually happened when it didn't. Bullshit.
Included government agencies. And that's a concern for the nation because from what I had seen on that laptop and the involvement that he had with these Chinese companies, especially Jackie Boyd, his assistant, China had a copy of this laptop.
Dude, China helped make this laptop.
And they were probably leveraging it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, they're leveraging it. China has so much on Joe Biden that we are literally protecting Taiwan with force. We have Marines on the beach. We've sent 2 congressional delegations, one including the Speaker of the fucking House. And we are stiff-arming China everywhere. Do you think China is manipulating Joe Biden into the CHIPS Act? They've got so much blackmail on him that they went, unless you stop us from manufacturing the highest quality chips in the world and having access to them, we're going to release pictures of your son smoking in a bathtub. No one, I repeat, no one gives a fuck.
The Ukraine's had a copy and ergo Russia had a copy. And all this.
And yet, nothing. If Russia had a copy, what are we suddenly giving in to Russia's demands? First of all, you can't blackmail people with shit that's already come out. What are you going to do? Blackmail Kim Kardashian with her sex tape? You know what I mean? She built her fucking industry on it. The same thing is true of Joe Biden. If there's a there, if any of this shit was real, we wouldn't have gotten NATO together. We wouldn't have pushed back on Russia. They would have rolled through Kiev in a matter of days. We wouldn't have had him say, yeah, we're going to defend Taiwan with force. The CHIPS Act would have never been championed or put through. He'd have had to fucking veto the thing.
This is leverage. If it did not get exposed to at least law enforcement or our intelligence community on our end, and thank goodness now the American people, this would all have been leverage foreign powers would have had over the executive office. And
it was already out during the election. It didn't stop him from getting elected, and nobody cares.
Yeah, I was fearful that when Joe got elected, my life would be in danger. That's one reason why I left. I would just be a checkbox that needed to be checked and a line scribbled through.
Yeah, because Joe Biden ran on a serial killer ticket. Fuck you.
Because I knew what was on that laptop, and most likely.
No, you didn't. You thought something was on the laptop, and then other people told you what was on the laptop, and they scared you, namely Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, and then they added shit to it after you gave it back to them.
Likely China and Russia did as well.
Okay. Again, yeah. China, that's the theme right now, ladies and gentlemen. The state of the Hunter Biden laptop argument. China and Russia had blackmail material on the laptop, and because that stuff existed, they have control over Joe Biden, which is why we are currently helping Ukraine kick Russia's ass, and why we have told China we will defend Taiwan with force if they try to take it, and why we are eliminating high-quality chip manufacturing and even the ability to sell or implement chips on the the higher end stuff like satellite level supercomputer stuff to be even sold in China. If this is the case, if this is their idea of blackmail, it sounds like they're trying to blackmail him with a hand job. I don't understand what Biden ever has to fear. I don't want to threaten you, Mr. Vice President, but if you ever get into the White House and you don't do exactly what we say, and you fight us at all, we will sit back while you sanction our government into our economy into oblivion and hand us our ass by aiding Ukraine with military training and satellites. But don't push me. I honest to God, what the fuck? What is the argument here anymore? All of that, I mean, they're trying to float it, I guess, and I don't even know who was interviewing him. They don't even show who the fuck was interviewing him. I'd love to see the whole thing. But back to life, back to surreality. Fox and Friends, watching them melt down the morning after was kind of beautiful. But now, the Trump going after, he dropped the Ron DeSanctimonious thing on the Friday before the election, Saturday, whenever the fuck, they bleed together, at one of the rallies, and then he dialed it back, apparently, until Election Day, and then he was like, it's on, because he's going to announce his exploratory committee next Tuesday and legally get around not being able to take super PAC money. And by the way, I hope he announces. He's going to pull out by the spring because he can't afford it, and his numbers are going to take a giant shit, and he's going to be like trying to do rallies, and he's going to like charge tickets so he doesn't have to. He can just make it a job. It's going to be beautiful. But in the meantime, Fox and Friends are concerned because he called him Ron DeSanctimonious.
Kevin, races matter. All these races matter so much, and there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, a long way to go, and I'm very hopeful that eventually, perhaps as soon as Monday, we will have more clarity. Maybe today, although I frankly doubt it. Like the rest of us, the White House and everybody still trying to figure out what's going on in these races that we've been talking about, in particular a couple of Senate races that we're keeping.
We know what's going on. We had an election, and in some of these cases, you have until Saturday for your ballot to arrive if you mailed it in on Election Day. So a lot of people either put it in the mailbox on Election Day and it went out that night, or they dropped it off someplace and the processing will take a couple of days. So those might be, worked in there. If enough of them were mailed in, the Monday before or on the Tuesday itself, and got stamped that day or got picked up with the mail on Wednesday morning, as long as they arrived by Saturday, because they were in the mailbox the night before, they'll be counted. And there might be enough of them to change some of the really close races. That's what's going on. No one's fucking puzzled, and Republicans have fought against making voting easier for everybody.
A very close eye on, and the dozens of House races, just so we can get a gauge of who will actually be running the new Congress. At this hour, the House still looks favorable for the GOP, while the Senate, as you pointed out, is still a toss-up. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the numbers. 211 for Republicans, 192 for Democrats. Everybody believes at this point it's going to be a GOP run
That is not true.
in the House eventually. We got all those races still out there. I just can't imagine what in the world is going on that we have so many House races that have yet to be called. How about the Senate? As you see, Republicans 49-48. If Laxalt gets over the threshold, it'll be 50-48, and then we'll wait for the last two to figure out where that all goes. Okay, how about the great state of Nevada? Speaking of the Senate, Laxalt right now still leading. But look at the difference. It was at 22,000 I'd say about a couple days ago. Now it's down to right around 9,000 because more
It's at 4 now.
tranches of votes keep coming in. And generally, they've been favorable for Cortez Masto, but still, Laxalt's still leading, and they still feel very confident.
If there's 4 batches left and she's up by 500 votes on each one,
Do GOP folks in the Silver State that he will, in fact, win that race. How about the governor's race there? Lombardo still looking good. Difference is smaller, 28,000 plus. It does look good for the GOP there as well.
no, the difference is bigger.
How about the Grand Canyon state of Arizona? Well, all you
That's a good sigh. That's a Fox sigh.
can say is right now, if you're a fan of Mr. Kelly, you're feeling good in the catbird seat, 115,000 vote difference. But Blake Masters still says there's a lot of votes out there. They're
Yeah, no.
not giving up hope just yet.
They should. 82% in. He's up by 115,000 votes.
Staying in the Grand Canyon state, how about the gubernatorial race there? Yes, Carrie Lake is close, still trailing though. In fact, she's trailing now by more than she was at this point yesterday.
26,979.
By nearly 27,000 votes. And despite the snail's pace, Carrie says, don't worry, I'm
Oh, yeah? Have you talked to Katie Hobbs?
convinced I'm going to win when all the votes are counted.
Yeah, that's what she's always said.
I will emerge victorious.
I am 100% going to win. I have
Yeah, nobody can ever say
absolute 100% confidence that I will be the next governor of Arizona.
that. That's a sales pitch. I 100% think this is the car for you. I do. I mean, if it had wheels, I mean, that's one of the things, people, obviously a car has 5 wheels, 6 if you have a spare. Obviously, if you're the steering wheel, it's got one of those. It's got a spare. It's tiny, but it's there. And really, in this day and age, you're safe for staying home. The world is full of crime. So a car without tires on it, that's 100% the car for you, buddy.
And I think the Republican Party should continue along with America First policies like we are.
What would those policies be? What do you say? Strong border.
Meantime, in Georgia, it's runoff time in a few weeks as Mr. Walker and Mr. Warnock go head-to-head again, round 2.
By the way, when Cortez Masto wins and when Mark Kelly wins, there is no fucking way Republicans turn out for Herschel Walker in December because it's not going to make a fucking lick of difference. If it's the deciding factor, maybe. But it's not going to be. We pick up both of these other races, and we're going to. This race is fucking gravy for the Democrats and just does nothing for Republicans. All it does is get them right back. And why would you fucking show up, if you're not voting for Kemp, which a bunch of voters aren't, and he floated some of those. If you're not, voting for a MAGA win, how the hell are you? Why? Why would you show up? I mean, I will say this. I hope people do. I hope you vote. I hope you voted last time, you vote again. I hope that the vote is exactly what it was last time. And that you guys divide the 2% from the other guy right in half. Who cares? That everybody who voted again. And they make their real choice. That said, do I think everybody who voted for Warnock is going to show up? Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. 1 minute ago, Nevada, great update. Democratic Senator Cortez Masto says is only down by 798 votes. Yeah, she's going to win. And once she wins, Kelly's a for sure. And if Kelly and Masto are in there, why the fuck would people come out to go vote for Herschel Walker? We totally have this. I'm telling you. And then we're going to sit back. They're going to call the Senate races before they call the governor's race because it'll be tighter and there might be she's going to call for some sort of automatic recount. She's going to sue for a recount. It's going to be like a 30,000 vote difference. So no serious person would do it. But in certain counties, they'll file and blah, blah, blah. And it won't amount to a hill of beans. Can you explain that logic again? Yes, absolutely. So this is how it works. If we win Masto and Kelly, we are at 50. And currently, this race aside in December, it's 49-50. 49 Republicans, 50 Democrats. Even if they win, if Walker wins, he's still just the 50th Republican. And because we have the presidency, Kamala Harris still is the tie vote breaker. We're exactly where we are in the same setup that we've been in. 51. 50 plus the VP puts us over the top in a 50-50 Senate. So there is nothing to be gained other than getting to 50-50 from Walker winning. So why the shit? Republicans need 51 to control it. They will not get it. They're not going to get it. Cortez Masto and Kelly are both going to win. And because that's how the numbers are, and that's how the ballots are coming in, that's just reality. When we get back to 50-50, the Republicans all vote in lockstep anyways. One vote is not going to change a fucking thing. Democrats being 51-49 is going to be the exact same vote. The only thing that happens is that Kamala Harris isn't going to have to walk down there every so often because we will have 51 Democrats in the Senate. That's it. Yes, Walker will lose. Walker's losing right now. He's just losing by enough of a margin, a tight enough margin that it triggers an automatic recount because it keeps Warnock under 50. Yeah, savor the trip. Exactly. I can't bear to look at the numbers without holding my hand. I'm good. So, again, why the fuck, if you're a tepid voter anyways, why, and believe me, there are no Democratic tepid voters, especially around the issue of abortion. Believe me, everybody's pouring out for Warnock. The same people who voted for Warnock are going to come out. He might shave, 8,000 votes, but that's it. Half of the people, a third, I would say, honestly, a third of the people voting for Walker are not going to show up the second time around. Not to get to 50-50. They don't care. He's not a motivational figure. Talk about Congress and concern we lose control there. We're at, I call it at 2019 or 219. I think we're going to end up with 219 Democrats. I also think that a couple of the Republicans that got through have legal issues, and they're going to that their majority may not last to swearing in. That's another thing. That's a much bigger thing. But I get nervous about Cortez. Nope. She's good. The mail-in votes. Here's the thing. They think and Carrie Lake is floating on this as well. They think the same-day drop-off will be the same thing as it was in 2020, which was almost all Republican. It's never been like that before because normally same-day people who drop off are Democrats. They favor it 60-40 almost everywhere because you got a mail-in one, you had time, but you want to make sure it dropped off. And over the last bit, because of Louis DeJoy and the fuck-arounds with the mail, especially around 2020, you don't trust the mail. So you're not going to mail it, especially after Friday. If you haven't mailed it yet, you got to drop it off in a lot of places. Or you just don't trust it, right? What if I drop it in there and then they don't pick up the mail because he cut, the trucks in my area or whatever the fuck, and you get really nervous about it. So people go to the drop-off boxes and do it the day. Yes, exactly. It was the opposite in 2018, much closer to what normal is like. And there were a lot more Democrats who requested an early ballot, were going to vote early, but then went, you know what, I can just drop it off on the day because I want to show up and do it on the day. That kind of thing. And that's exactly how it's turning out. Every batch they're getting looks like an exaggeration of 2018. Same thing. So, what the fuck? By the way, I've forgotten what these assholes are talking about.
To determine that state Senate seat. In the meantime, the Democrat isn't frankly talking about, kitchen table issues like the high cost of food or gas. Instead,
yeah, he was.
Raphael Warnock is taking the low road, slamming Mr. Walker personally.
What you mean? Challenging his values?
We've seen that Herschel Walker has a disturbing history, a pattern of violence against women, against his own family. Is that who we want?
He's not telling you the truth, and he's going to continue to be that hypocrite, that wolf in sheep's clothing. You got to get out and vote.
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
Vote and tell your friends to get out and vote. This is the most important election.
Yeah, no, it won't. And by the way, throwing it this way.
Important election. Meantime, on Truth Social, former President Trump is also getting a little, well, let's just say a little frisky as people.
Ew.
People start talking about 2024 already, and he's taking a shot at Ron Desantis, the governor of the great state of Florida. This is what the president wrote. He calls him Ron DeSanctimonious. He says he's playing games. The fake news asking him if he's going to run. If President Trump runs, he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking into the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. If you know the president, you know how he feels about loyalty. And
yes, it's a one-way street. That's how he feels about loyalty. You are loyal to him, and if he thinks you're worth jettisoning, he'll throw you under the fucking bus in a heartbeat. Which, by the way, you can't actually call loyalty, because loyalty itself is a two-way street. This is just transactional, hierarchical bullshit.
And he feels like he has helped Ron DeSantis in the past, and that
he says he broke the law to help him get elected.
The right thing to say, at least, is I'll stand down until and unless I hear what the president wants to do. He didn't say that. Some would argue that's politically the smart thing to do. So a little back and forth right there, guys. A little infighting by the GOP.
Just a little. Well, you know who's worried about that. Glenn's response to the Trump v. DeSantis fight. Glenn Beck is giving us the ass cam. I also, by the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. Here we go. Whew. I'm Steve. Oh, sorry, I've got to click on this one. 1 second.
Talk to you a little bit about okay, how do I blather on about another topic so people don't realize how full of shit I was last week and how I called everything wrong? Period of time we're now entering.
The period of time, the era, the oeuvre.
We are entering, and we are still at this point, in what I believe is the last phase of of America as we know it.
Yeah, but you live in an America that's a Trump sycophancy. You have a skewed, fucked up view of America. Again, this asshole sounds like the dude who ran the Heaven's Gate cult.
What comes next is an entirely new system.
No, it doesn't.
Or a restoration of the original system.
These are our choices. It's either Star Trek or we relive the 1700s. But flip a coin.
And it is still not decided. And it is.
Is this coin up and flipping, or have we called heads or tails yet?
Going to be a fight to the wire. A fight to the
wire. You can't say death.
The finish. It's going to be a
fight to the faux finish. The fight, fuck yourself.
Photo finish.
Fight to the photo finish. Fuck you.
Let me give you this piece of information to begin with.
We're going to get a piece of information that Glenn just found out that he's going to hold over us like he knows it, like he's known it all this time. And you people need to factor this into your thinking because I've known it all along. I can say anything with my eyes.
An endorsement, according to polls, an endorsement from President Biden made an individual less likely to support a candidate. If a candidate was endorsed by President Joe Biden, would it make you more or less likely to vote for that candidate? 46% said a Biden endorsement would make it less likely to support a candidate.
Are they asking Democrats?
While 28% said it would be more likely to support a candidate.
Which is over half of Democrats in that 50-50 split.
Have you seen polls like this on Donald Trump when it comes to Republican candidates? Republican candidates that he endorsed did well.
No. He picked a bunch of people that were shoo-ins. And anytime he went out on a limb and went, this is the person I want, like Dr. Oz, and I would argue that Mastriano, both of these fuckers, he was like, I'm picking these. Like J.D. Vance was the only person with name recognition running as a Republican to fill Toomey's seat, and it was going to lean Republican anyways. And he was like, all right, whoever's there, I'll go with that. But specifically Oz, he was like, oh, fuck, got everything. TV, chicks dig him, it's going to be great. And he insisted, so much so that he shoehorned him in. Like the fucking Republicans all over Telegram and other places are outrageous. They are like pissed off at Trump for picking this fucker when they knew he was going to lose. Because he was friends with Oprah and all the Qs think she's in Gitmo. Jesus Christ. Hey, we got a hype train. Come on now.
Some of them did not.
Yeah, the ones he specifically put time into, and I will include Carrie Lake in that.
Right now.
Yeah, this is your tomorrow.
We are blessed by having Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis both on our side.
That's right. They're both on your side. They're not on each other's sides. They're kind of facing each other. Well, one's facing the other way. It's hard to even see, honestly. I can't.
They are both fighters.
I mean, they're kind of. What weight class are we talking?
They both have different styles.
No, they don't. Well, that's true. I mean, Trump could never pull off those high white boots.
But both of them get things done.
Unless, of course, you're talking about Mexico paying for a border wall or an infrastructure bill or a healthcare bill or getting us out of Afghanistan or, that kind of baseline governmental stuff. And, of course, DeSantis has got a bunch of stuff done with federal funds from the Biden administration.
Yesterday, and I'm not going to get into it,
Please don't.
Donald
but do.
Trump attacked Ron DeSantis in Truth Social.
He's not going to get into it. Don't get into it, Glenn.
And people started arguing immediately online.
Did they? Online? Where did they do this arguing? On Truth Social? Also, you mean everywhere? Secondarily, why would him attacking the other guy trigger an argument between their supporters amongst the party? I guess the question is, why wouldn't it?
I am not going to engage in this, and I urge...
That's because you're a big wuss.
...you not to engage in this.
Don't choose sides, okay? Which technically supports DeSantis. If you don't, I mean, look at how Trump responded to what DeSantis wrote and basically said, if you don't say you're not going to run, you're basically being disloyal. So if you don't attack Ron DeSantis on behalf of Trump, Trump thinks you're being disloyal. So Glenn Beck is suggesting to his audience that you should send a signal to Trump that you're disloyal. As the Glenn Beck whisperer of the official Glenn Beck whisperer of the Hal Sparks Megaworldwide show, that's what I say.
we have an opportunity right now
Yeah, there's no tomorrow.
to have both of these guys on our side.
No, you fucking do not. Trump just, all right, hold on. This is not a situation, Jesus. I don't even know. How do you even fucking pretend that's the case? Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Here's the current state of Trump on Truth Social. First of all, they're postponing their leadership meeting to see who becomes minority leader. Let's see. Endorsements, blah, blah, blah. Trump thing, but Trump has a 93%. Okay, fake news mania, blah, Paul Ryan attacks Paul Ryan. Marco Rubio kisses his ass. And then, where we go? They're Fetterman. And let's see. We won! Pelosi's gone. No, you didn't. Let's see. There's the... Oh, so he goes after Youngkin, saying his name sounds Chinese. Youngkin. Which, by the way, Youngkin sounds like Duncan. Like, no, it doesn't. Jesus Christ. If you stretch everything out, it sounds weird. You scrotum. Anyways, sounds Chinese, doesn't it? Jesus Christ. In Virginia, couldn't have won without me. I endorsed him, did a very big Trump rally for him telephonically. By the way, Youngkin won because Trump stayed away. Trump did one of his telephone rallies, which we listened in on a couple of them. They're fucking embarrassing. Like, I don't go to Dunkin'. It sounds like Dunkin'. Sounds like Korean or something. Anyways, got negative over him, or he wouldn't come close to winning. He knows that and admits it, besides having a hard time in Dems in Virginia, but he'll get it done. And then, so he retruthed this from Patriotic American Alpha Sauce was the account. Totally real. By the way, well, shall we dive into who the fuck Patriotic American Alpha Sauce is? And what do you think the odds are this fucker is like 3 clicks away from a QAnon hole? Okay. I just need DeSantis to understand that we the people want we were cheated out of our vote for Trump, and we want Trump to get his second term. I hope DeSantis is not dumb and makes us not trust him by going against us or Trump, because Dems are not going to vote for him, and we don't need Trump tearing him apart in the debates. And if he talks crap to Trump, he ends MAGA, even wanting him in 2028. So he retruthed this. We'll put a pin in Patriotic American Alpha Sauce for a second. We'll be back. So Trump goes into this thing and a bunch of pictures of himself and yada yada, and the storm is coming. Straight up QAnon bullshit, by the way. When he gets depressed, he retweets people who like him. And by the way, do you know how fucked up that is? He's going for and he does a middle finger, and then he goes Trump 2024. Dude, you think it's a good thing that the Saudis want you in office? Lord fucking mighty. Trump was right about it. Okay. Oh, this is the lady. Happened everywhere. We looked at her already. She's the lady who said she was okay. There's Lee Stefanik. Yeah, very strange things happening in Kansas, Nevada, Arizona. Stay tuned. Whatever. Blah blah. Jim Day, election over. Oh, yeah, here it is. Now the election is over in Florida and everything went quite well. Shouldn't it be said that in 2020, I got 1.1 million more votes in Florida than Ron DeSantis got this year? 5.7 to 4.6 million, just asking. By the way, that's fucking ridiculously small considering it was an off election year. That's him nipping at your fucking heels. That means that DeSantis didn't even have Republican votes turning out at the level that they show up for a regular election. That would have brought him closer. Well, in certain ways, yes, okay, blah, blah, News Corp. Blah, blah, blah. Badly Sanders. Ron came to me desperate in 2017. This is so weird. He was politically dead, losing in a landslide to a very good agricultural commissioner, Adam Putnam, who was loaded up with cash and great poll numbers. Ron had low approval, bad polls, no money. He said that if I would endorse him, he could win. I didn't know Adam, so I said, let's give it a shot when I endorsed him. And this is the screwy part. This part's fucked up. I also fixed his campaign, which had completely fallen apart. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gilliam, but after the race, when votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County, and Ron was going down 10,000 votes a day, along with now Senator Rick Scott, I sent in the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended just prior to them running out of the votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen. It sounds like he weaponized the Justice Department to control an election, is what it sounds like. But anyways, so the fact that it's not like he just came out and called him Ron DeSanctimonious and it was a cute little jab and nobody cares. He went after him and basically says, there is no Ron DeSantis without me, and if he doesn't kiss my ring, fuck him, and I'm sending my minions after him. So hold on one second. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, I thought Summer was calling me, and her mom's coming to visit, and I thought it was something to do with her mom coming to visit, but it was actually just them talking. So anyways, Summer's mom is visiting for a couple days. It's really nice. So back to our regularly scheduled program. So, all right, here we go. Whoops, wrong one. Wrong button.
I want both of them in.
I want what I want. I want what I want.
This is not a fight that is going to happen because of one man.
Oh, yes, it is. It's absolutely going to happen. This fight, this interpersonal bullshit fight in Republican quarters is going to happen because of the ego of Donald John Trump and his history of being a complete and utter fuck up. This is what Republicans need to learn, because you guys think the bill has come due. It has not. Trump left the table. The check is on the way. You thought he was kicking in. He went to the bathroom and fucked off. And he ordered food for takeout on his way out the fucking door. And while you guys are sitting there with your friends going, that's weird that he left and stuff. But anyways, is he coming back to pay for him? He ate most of the food. So is he going to, while you're sitting there waiting for the fucking check to come afterwards and you're assuming maybe he picked it up. He picked up the tab. He's that kind of a guy. He never picked up a fucking check in his life. He bugged off and added more money to it, and you guys aren't going to find out until he's halfway across fucking town, and he took your wallet, and you're going to be left washing fucking dishes.
This is going to happen because you are involved, and all of us are pulling in the same direction.
Yes. Polarized directions, but still. Backwards, I think. We'll all be pulling backwards. Now, some of us will be on this side of the rope, others will be on this side of the rope, but we'll all be pulling in the same. I mean, everything's being relative. We're all pulling away from something.
And whether Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis know it.
Whether you know it, Glenn.
They're pulling in exactly the same direction.
No, they are not. Not by any fucking means.
DeSantis should come out and say,
I'm gay. That's what the boots were about. And then just relax, and then he can become a Democrat, and everybody go, hey, congrats. You can ease up and become a decent human being and stop being gross. And no, that's not what you were going to say.
Look, right now, Trump is responding to a lot of people that are trying to pit us against each other. He should say nothing bad about Donald Trump. He should admit that Trump is right. He helped him win the governor's office. But he should also say that he considers Donald Trump a friend, and Donald Trump has been there his entire life.
So Glenn is now writing apology scripts for Ron DeSantis to patch things up emotionally between him and Donald Trump. What the shit?
And if Trump isn't talking about you, you're doing something wrong.
Excuse me. I'm doing a lot that's right, and I never want my name in Trump's mouth. Fuck that guy.
But he has nothing bad to say about Donald Trump.
Yeah, but since he won't say, I'm not going to run, Trump won't care. He can fucking give Trump the biggest fucking tongue bath in South Florida, Everglades cheesecake eating nude weirdo running through the fucking marsh. And it's still not going to be enough for Trump unless he says, I'm not going to run for president. And if he says all that stuff and he still doesn't say, I'm not going to run for president, Trump is going to go, this motherfucker.
Now, I've said this to people and they've said...
And they've run away from me. What did you say?
Wasn't that the Ted Cruz? And I said, well, yes and no. Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Ted Cruz, shot back at Trump when Trump shit all over his fucking wife and then went, you know what? Trump's more important to me than she is.
Cruz had words to go on. Ron DeSantis can just be quiet and just keep doing his job.
Yeah, that's what started the fucking fight. He literally said, I'm focused on being governor right now. And Trump was like, look, if he didn't say, I'm not running, he's fucking gonna stab me in the back. You guys keep an eye on him while I'm out in the yard, because I think that motherfucker is making a knife out of a toothbrush.
Also not somebody who is... I learned my lesson in 2016.
No, you did not. Well, I'm sorry. If it was being completely fucking wrong and throwing your morals out a fucking window if you ever really had them at all and ultimately supporting Donald Trump, that's maybe I don't think you did. If there's some other lesson you're talking about, which is like, don't bet against Donald Trump.
I learned my lesson. My way is not usually the right way.
What? Why do you have a show? Can I just look, just give me all of his gear and we can call it a fucking wash. I can't. I fucking can't. I learned my, okay. Tell me, say that again, stupid.
Learned my lesson. I learned my lesson in 2016. I learned my lesson. Mm-hmm. My way is not usually the right way.
Believe me, Stu knows. Stu knows. He watches you during the breaks, Glenn. He knows. I fucking can't with this dude. Jesus Christ.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
I'm Glenn Beck, broken clock.
But I am tired of trying to overthink elections.
Glenn, you overthink tying your shoes, fucko. You have to, or you would walk around and trip and fall all over yourself. This is, by the way, this is a sales pitch. Don't think for a second he genuinely means any of the shit. He absolutely thinks he's the smartest fucking person around. Oh, God.
Let the American people, and more importantly, God sort it out.
Let God sort, yes. Kill them all, let God sort them out. Glenn Beck 2024. Fuck you.
If we remain loyal to what we believe,
which is what?
We're going to be fine.
Oh, I know. He's being loyal to what he believes, which is as long as you keep catastrophizing and you keep pushing, doom and gloom and the end of the world, you'll make a shit ton of money, and you can always sell fucking pancake batter and MREs to psycho preppers. It's a growth industry. As long as we stick to that, we're gonna be all right, baby. We're gonna be, you and me, we're gonna make this through, okay? We don't actually have to have any ethics or morals. We just have to trick these motherfuckers into thinking the end of the world is coming, and we're gonna sell the life rafts. Which, I mean, if it does end, who gives a shit? They won't work anyways, because the world's over. And if they do work, they're never going to use them, because the world didn't end. See what I'm saying? It's a win-win for us. And all we've done is separate those people, those suckers, from their hard-earned money and their sense of stability. I mean, and what did God put me on this green earth for? Except to freak people out until they pay me. Jesus Christ. Can I just say I'm glad to make fun of this asshole, but largely because he's fucking gross. This is like, he's getting into Mike Pillow territory, where we enter into an area where we used to think Mike Pillow was just kind of a gullible sap who, bought all this stuff, and then you're like, nah, he's actually a prick. Same thing with Glenn. Glenn sells this kind of aw shucks attitude. I may not know much, but if I know one thing, it's what I know. Like kind of like inverted fucking statements. And then, yeah, he's going to eat the mic when he's done.
I thought Donald Trump was going to be the worst president ever. He turned out
to be right on the money. It was again, this was one of your broken clock moments, Glenn.
Out to be one of the best presidents of my life, policy-wise.
Oh, yeah? What policies were those? Which one? Because the wall made the border worse. By every metric, Biden and Obama were in office before Trump was. Biden is president now. Trump put the wall up in between those two things. The policy about the border didn't change from Obama, Biden to now. It's basically the same. So obviously, the wall fucked everything.
So am I upset that maybe Donald Trump will have another turn? Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Am I upset that Donald Trump may have another turn and he spends 4 years and Ron DeSantis finishes up in Florida and then he does an 8-year term? Nope, not at all.
Yeah, that's not what's on the menu, fuckhead. What's on the menu is both of these dickheads are going to meet in the yard and settle it in the ways of old.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. You also enjoy the smell of your own farts.
Would I mind if Donald Trump decided to bow out? I think it would be a loss if we lost him as a vocal supporter, if he just kind of disappeared.
I just had my heart leapt a little bit at the idea.
I think it would be a bad thing. If he decided, I'm not going to second guess Donald Trump. I did that once. It was foolish to do.
Yes, turns out Mexico did pay for the... Oh.
Here's what I would suggest.
Great. Since you've already told us that you're often wrong, if not always.
Let's count our blessings.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's sit around. That's a good idea. The Dow is up. Crime is on its way down. Inflation is on its way down. The dollar is doing well. Even in the turmoil of the rest of the markets, we are reshoring factories at a faster clip than ever. We're removing lead pipes and adding rural broadband at in the largest public works move in half a century. Those kind of blessings. We're out of Afghanistan. We're no longer in Afghanistan. Let's see. We're taking our troops out of Saudi Arabia. That's also good. Biden shaved $1.7 trillion off the deficit. That's good. Are we counting those? We're not counting those, are we? Which ones are we counting? Oh, and Trump's not in the White House. He's, shit tweeting in a rental property because he can't even afford a house anymore.
Being two great fighters.
Yes, we've got two great fighters on our side, and they are beating the snot out of each other. One of them just picked a fight. The two greatest fighters we have, our battle has started, and they were, guys, put the knives down.
Can you name one on the Democratic side?
Yes, Joe Biden. He just had the greatest midterm since Kennedy, and he trounced your guy last time, and he wasn't even able to campaign.
Did you hear?
That's true.
Hear that? In fact, I want to play this for you. This is
play it.
Crazy. Play cut 4. This is MSNBC. Listen to this.
What about if we pair up Liz Cheney and Stacey Abrams and actually start talking about universal voting and election reform? I could see them doing kind of a czar thing with the administration that's completely bipartisan. That would be exciting.
I mean, stuff does turn over.
Stop. That would be exciting? Good. That's who they're thinking. That's what they got going for them.
They're not running for office, fucko. She was mentioning that the White House could put a czar in charge of making sure that you have equal voting across the fucking country. And Liz Cheney doesn't have to be a fucking Wyoming congressperson. She can actually have a say in it. Good Lord.
Here's Biden. Play cut 3. Another of the brain trust.
And you helped me keep my commitment that I would appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court, Justice Jackson. And guess what? She's probably the smartest person on the Supreme Court.
She's probably the smartest. She couldn't identify what a woman was.
No, not the same thing. It means defining what based on what your definition is. Again, is there a difference between a woman being a biological female, an adult biological female, and a woman being a standard by which a person who is an adult biological female reaches some sort of status in showing those features? For example, like, are you a man? You're a man now, Jimmy, because you're 18 and it's time to get the fuck out of here. Or is a man somebody who exemplifies the characters of a man? On a legal level, none of that fucking matters.
She's probably the smartest person on the Supreme Court. Wow, that's an incredible thing to say. This is their brain trust.
And you are the Republican brain trust. This is a guy, by the way, I would like to remind you, who was just writing an apology statement for Ron DeSantis to Donald Trump moments ago.
Let's celebrate that we have two of them.
That are at each other's throats. And if one of them wins, the other one will destroy everything. Excellent.
And let the system work it out.
Yeah, it's a system. It's like a pachinko machine. We just put them in the pachinko machine, and whoever makes it to the bottom because of gravity first, and we know who that'll be, that's who the winner is. That they won. And we don't even have to fight about it. It's just gravity.
We cannot separate ourselves from one another.
Glenn, you live in a compound.
If Donald Trump wins the nomination, I am all in.
Yeah, but if Desantis wins it, every one of Trump's major followers will do everything they can to destroy him.
If Ron DeSantis wins the nomination, I am all in.
Yeah, we know. You have no standards. Your team R. We get it.
It is.
If the guy who was the governor of Florida, who's kind of like an angrier Jeb Bush wins, I'll vote for him. If the guy who says if he sees my daughter at a party, he'll grab her by the pussy because he thinks he can, I'm in. Fuck you.
Really important that we don't divide ourselves.
Too late.
That's what the Democrats do.
We divide you? I thought we lumped all of you together, that MAGA was one, that when Biden made his MAGA speech, he was attacking 74 million voters.
That's what they need. You know, if you look at, I read a great op-ed. Let's see if I can find it. Read a great op-ed today.
It's fabulous.
From
must have been really good. It's like right there.
Gosh, I think she's an intern at the Federalist.
Really? You sure it wasn't a sexual, like an HR report for sexual harassment? Wait a minute. Think about that for a second. Just really, an intern at the Federalist. I read a great op-ed from an intern. Oh, my God.
And she was writing about New York, and she said...
It's my kind of town. No, that's Chicago.
New York is not necessarily a loss. Let's look at this in perspective.
Oh, you mean the state? Because they were able to gerrymander like 8 districts? And if those people act like Trumpist maggots, they're going to lose their job in less than 2 years?
We have heard people say that, there's no way they can win because all of the people that, agreed with the conservatives have moved. Well, that's not entirely true. Look.
That was your assessment.
How close he got. If all of those...
Oh, it means Lee Zeldin, right?
...people that believed in, constitutional rule left, well, there's still a lot of people there that are convinced of it.
Okay, no. The Zeldin Hochul race, we've had close races, and they've had Republican governors in New York. It's not that weird. It's a big state, a lot of stuff going on. Crime itself, driving a lot of the rural parts of New York, by the way, and I guess Long Island and some other places, has driven up moved people to the right, specifically since COVID. That will not be the standard by which the next election is held. There'll always be crime in New York City, but the idea that the spike is going to continue and they're not going to do anything about it is a bunch of fucking garbage. So the next time they come around, they're not going to go, I'm the constitutionalist and women shouldn't be able to have an abortion. If they even bring that fucking shit up again, they're gone.
And as things get worse and worse, there's only 2 ways that can go.
Thank you, Leo.
Either more people wake up or more people are duped.
These are my options. Can't you be duped? Can you be duped while you're asleep?
Right. I don't know which way it's going.
Great. Well, I'm glad I tuned in. Thanks for the insightful political commentary, and I feel like none of us feel like we've wasted our fucking time.
But if they got rid of all of the people that could have swayed this, it was still pretty damn close.
They didn't. There was no fucking stampede out of New York to places like Texas and other, it's bullshit. Talk about a red mirage. Also, a lot of people left New York during COVID because they were getting away from the city because there was a contagious disease, and putting some space between you and people was one of the best ways until there was a vaccine to stay alive.
More and more people are waking up.
Oh my God. And more people are being duped. What are we going to do? Dead air.
I just want you to know.
Tell me. Dead air.
It's never my way or the highway.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're viewers, fuckhead. We're not in the car. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the policy to viewers at the Glenn Beck Show is ass, gas, or grass, nobody rides for free.
Here.
Yeah, you need the viewers. What are you talking about?
I'm going to have opinions on things, both for and against DeSantis, for and against Trump.
Yeah, because it's a fairness. Right now, you're for DeSantis and for Trump and against being against either of them. It's fair. I could see that.
That's what you pay me for with your time.
No, you owe me. This is a debt you can never pay back.
We may disagree.
You're starting to miss Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Glenn, wrap it up, fucker. Can I speed up this? Hold on, settings, quality, playback speed. Let's go to 175. Maybe this will make it more tolerable.
I celebrate that. I think we should have disagreements. Lockstep is not the American way. We need to have those disagreements, but we need to be able to walk away and respect one another.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's what Joe Biden said, you fucking asshole.
So I'm going to do my utmost to earn your respect.
Too late.
On how I handle myself on this.
I'm more concerned about how you handle Stu.
But I want you to know up front, I am a big supporter of Donald Trump, and I am a big supporter of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, way to be a complete pusillanimous asshole.
Trump has proven himself under the microscope that is every intelligence agency on the planet and every media source on the planet. He has not broken a sweat under that light.
Yes, he is. He's a sweaty fuck. That's ridiculous. He yells all the time, and he just pled the fifth like 400 fucking times.
That's hard to do.
It's not in your head. It's super easy to do in your fucking dome, Glenn.
And he has proven himself to be true to some of the things that he promised us. In fact, I think most of the things that he promised us.
Bullshit. That's a lie. That's just, well, except for the whole pussy grabbings.
He did. He actually completed. Ron DeSantis is doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah? What did he do and complete? Besides a tax cut that was permanent for corporations and temporary for actual people. What'd he do?
Except at a state. And we need them at state and federal. And I will happily be for either one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to vote R. Big fucking surprise. That was, by the way, can I just say for the record, that made it a lot more tolerable at that speed. We might have to do that. We won't have to do this next one that way, though. Hold on, let me see if I can get this.
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work,
Never.
helping me in your spare time from home?
No, shut up. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay. Stew on banana. Yeah, Stu does the world. Okay. I have to do one more. I got to do one more. I know I'm over time, but I got to do one more. I got to, because, ladies and gentlemen, whoops, hold on, back up. I bring you a piece of history brought to you by the most miserable man on the internet and the perfect guest that isn't Trump.
Hey, see this old-timey picture of people voting? That's actually folks voting back in 1924 in Arizona. They had their act together back then as far as voting in Arizona. They knew.
By the way, that's on a native reservation.
By nighttime that Calvin Coolidge had won the election in Arizona and beyond.
Yeah, because they threw out a bunch of boxes from areas where Coolidge wouldn't win.
Beyond, by the way, I believe.
Well, yeah, why don't we go back to how they used to count votes in Chicago in the 30s then? How about that, dummy?
Anyway, here we are today. Election day was Tuesday, and they're still counting ballots. The system is, well, it seems to me like it's screwed up.
Well, hey, Republicans are running the place.
Carrie Lake has been sounding the alarm
about how votes are being counted in an IKEA of all places.
About election problems for a long time now.
Yeah, there she is. Thank you for showing her face before showing yours.
Is a Republican nominee, and in my opinion, should have had this thing locked up 2 days ago. If this,
yeah, if there was a God,
system was honest. And
hey, I got looking right at her. Hey, all right.
Anyway, Carrie Lake, welcome back.
Thanks for being here. I would love to. I'd ride a bus with you anytime.
Congratulations.
By the way, he loves her because to him, I was about to say she's Trump with tits, but that already happened. So she's like, Trump in woman form. It's his dream date.
Looks like you're going to be successful, but I don't know. You tell me what's going on out there.
What happened?
Oh, you know what? We do have it locked up. They just haven't counted the votes. We had a record. We actually shocked the system.
Yeah, you overwhelmed the algorithm. I heard that from Mike Pillow.
A record number of Arizonans showed up to hand deliver their mail-in ballot on Election Day.
Yeah, but that resulted in Mark Kelly trouncing Masters.
50% increase from even 2020. And these are people who had a mail-in ballot, but they didn't trust the system enough to put it in a drop box or a...
Yes, they're I think we locked up the paranoid sociopath vote, like the lunatic cues that, we locked down one particular demographic, which was people who voted on Election Day at a drop box while dressed as one of the Spy versus Spy characters.
Mailbox. They walked it in, and we have. I'm going to look at my notes here.
Wait, they stir-fried their ballots? I think that's terrible. You're going to end up counting it, the wrong one. By the way, I just want to say you're real pretty, and I think you're going to win. If I could count, I would count your ballots right now. Don't leave me for that Greg Kelly feller.
401,000 of those ballots to count.
Oh my God, that's so weird. Because I was in Troop 401 when I was in Boy Scouts. What are the odds? It's like Kismet. How you doing? Have you any interest in perhaps going to a fish fry with me? Not, it's like that old joke. Hey, we're going to have a party at the house. You're welcome to come over. And the guy says, what's going to happen at the party? And he goes, well, there's going to be some drinking, there's going to be some fighting, there's going to be some fucking, it's going to be quite a party. And the guy goes, wow, that sounds crazy. What time should I get there? He goes, anytime you want, just me and you.
They haven't counted a single one.
No, how did they know there's 401,000 of them then?
Ballots that they've been counting are a lot of the ballots so far from Democrat heavy.
Look at them. They ain't even counting shit. They're just sitting there playing fucking Minesweeper.
Areas, but not a single election.
Oh, that's a sketchy place. That's scary, man. Look at the darkness behind that door. I would not go through that door. Elections department. That's a trap door. Don't do it. Don't go there.
Day early ballot has been counted, and when they...
Oh, that's a good point. Hold on one second, if I may. There's some people saying in here, they've made an important point that apparently there's a mistake that sometimes people will make where they do this thing where they wear like green on national television, and people are like, that seems to be a mistake. And I agree. I like her outfit though. It's got kind of a muted color to it.
They start counting those, Greg, we believe we're going to see them go to us anywhere from 60 to 80% going in our favor.
Yeah, where did you get, I'm no math whiz, but just doing the math in my head, that is a statistical impossibility.
And we are going to win and win handily. And the other...
Well, then, if you have to have 60 to 80% to win, you're not going to win handily. That's a squeaker. And believe me, I know a squeaker when I make one.
The good news is we believe that Blake...
Look at him printing ballots right there. Just fresh Biden. That's what they doing. They just make it. Look at that. That's terrible. Look at that. They even showing it on camera. They just fucking printing ballots. All just Biden, like that. How you ever supposed to fucking win if they just printing Biden ballots?
Masters will win.
Look, you can smell the panda jizz on those. Those are all the way from China.
When they start counting these.
Oh, when they count them, boy, they can count you in, but they can't count you out. You know what I'm saying? Holy smokes. Boy, by the way, I love the all-over wraparound print. I think it's a wise choice, looks-wise.
Abe Hamaday.
By the way, are you currently at a frame store? Are you? Because there's like a segment, if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond in the back, where you can bring in like, like your Trump University diploma. I got 4 of them. They make about as good outhouse wallpaper as you ever seen.
And even Mark Fincham, and it will.
Not even Mark Fincham. Holy the bass player for Three Dog Night on the reunion tour after all the original members were dead. That Mark Fincham, I love that guy. Okay.
Be a sweep.
Well,
when they count them.
Oh, believe me, they can count them in, but do not count them out. Let me tell you right now.
That is the big question. There's so.
That is the big question. Also, why are we here? Who am I? Letting the days go by and the water doopy-doo. I let once in a lifetime. Why is she not my beautiful wife? Why is she not in my beautiful outhouse?
So many in the system, they can't keep up.
So,
I can't keep up, boy.
I've been rooting for you, of course.
Yes, and by rooting, he means hiding in your bushes with binoculars.
I've been open about that, but what is there?
Yes, he has been very open about that. When the police come over and go, "Excuse me, sir, are you shitting in those bushes or are you up to no good?"
Excuse.
And he goes, both.
I mean, and how do they, this I think complicates their defense of 2020 being no problem there.
You couldn't talk about 2020. Remember, that was forbidden. You can't talk about it.
Yeah, you're only allowed to talk about if you have perfect vision by saying I'm wearing contacts.
And I've been talking about it.
Boy, I know that's true. You have been talking about it, dooby-dooby-doo. Hey, come on now.
Canceled me. They've called me names, but
Who called you names? What'd they call you? Huh? They didn't call you Scary Lake, did they? Did they call you Karen Lake? Oh, those bastards. Did they call you Carrie Lake Water? Nope, they didn't. How about Carrie Snake? Did anybody call you Carrie Snake? Oh. That's terrible that anybody would even think those things up off the top of their head.
I was trying to, sound the alarm. We have to reform our elections.
Right. If she wins, it was fixed. Wait.
What happened is in Florida, they have a deadline when you can hand in your early ballot. And that way they have time to count them. We don't have.
So there's no deadline. So you can vote after the election? Wait a minute. How the fuck you call it an early vote if it's late? That's amazing. Like, do words mean anything anymore? Son of a bitch.
That deadline. And so we had a lot of ballots show up on election day because there is so much.
What? You had ballots. People were filling out ballots on election day. People voted on what kind of crazy shit is it? How is this even hold on. Hello. Yeah, but America, shut the fuck up, Cletus, and just put me through. No, your phone works, so just call the Mariposa, I think that's how you say it, Mariposa, Indizona, board of election board, some sort of plank or something that runs call them, and then put your receiver up to my receiver, and put them into top end. Don't fuck around and make me talk into myself again. Thank you. Yeah, I'll hold. Shut the fuck up. You ain't Hold on, folks. I'll be right with you in a second. I'm calling the Mariposa. Hello. Hey, is this the chairman of vote stealing in Maricopa? Yeah, I'm an angered constituent. What county am I in? I'm in Arizona. I'm in Eastern Kentucky County. It's a small one down near Moosa, Arizona. Look, I got to tell you this. I hear tell there's a bunch of listen. Here, settle down. Here, stop yelling at me. Let me just take it. Okay. I hear tell there's a bunch of shenanigans going on at some of these voter counting places, and specifically, they are in Republican-controlled areas. That's right. What is going on that the Republicans seem to be in charge of all the areas where the count is going slow, and why can't they choose? Why can't they? How come Republicans count so slow? Well, the Democrats are done counting already. They get their cheating done early. I'm just saying we can't speed up our cheat. No. How did I vote? I voted for Kari Lake. For senator, I voted for Master Ganga. I forgot. It was a long word. I think it started with an R or an M or was there anybody on the ballot that started with a W? I may have had it upside. Sometimes I vote upside down. Hello? Cletus. Hey, Cletus, you dumb son of a bitch. Did you break I just heard a toilet flush. Did it slip off the thing? God damn it, I'm talking into the tub again. But I'll call you back. This is a shame. This is a shame and a sham. It's a shammy shame. I'm just disgusted by this whole thing. I'm sorry y'all had to witness that, but sometimes the truth will not wait.
So much distrust in the system, and you can't.
That's right. I don't trust the system.
Blame people.
System sounds terrible. It sounds like an Indian in an old John Wayne movie trying to say cyst.
And because of that, it's going to take longer to count these ballots. But
believe me, you do not have to sell me on the idea that counting things takes a long time.
They will count them, and we will be victorious. And when we get in first,
victorious, victorious. Oh yeah, come on.
Stay in office. I'm going to get the legislature busy, especially.
Get busy with wait a minute. First, you're gonna get busy with the legislature? Is it too late for me to run for a spot in the legislature? Just because I'm looking for a little bit of, come on.
Session to begin reforming our elections so we don't have this nonsense anymore. So
wait a minute. Now, you're gonna have to slow this down because I might not be the sharpest tool left out of the shed in the rain to rust, but if you got elected and the election was not trustworthy, does that mean you cheated or people cheated on your behalf? Or do you have to step down to prove that what you're saying about the election was true? Do you have to lose to prove it was stolen? Or if you win a stolen election, how do you not? I'm starting to get. You ever see them spots that look like them? They look like water bugs. You ever have that happen? And then they're like, there's like a vignette effect. That ever happened to y'all? Man, I feel like I ain't even been drinking, and I feel it. This is good. That's the great thing about listening to Kari Lake. It's like drinking half a jug of shine. I save myself a half a jug of shine every time I listen to this woman speak. I swear to God, I think this woman is the fourth step. Well, I think the fourth step is find something else to drink.
So the whole world isn't looking at Arizona and saying, when are you going to have your results?
Look, I'm just going to say that I have spent a decent amount of time in Arizona, and I'm not going to stick around and see what the results are. Let me tell you what, if the rabbit dies, I'm fucking out of there.
So we understand the balance of power, and we know exactly who won on Election Day.
Well, you won't. If the elections aren't trustworthy, then how the fuck do you know who won even if you won? Stop me if I'm, I'm confused very easily, but I think I've got this one together.
Just a couple of hours ago, we have this Maricopa election official saying...
I just want to throw up in my mouth when you say that. I do that anyway sometime. It's the way I conserve food. I learned it from a camel.
Well, let's take a look and evaluate.
Oh, so you got a clip.
It's our obligation, and it is their privilege as a voter to have us do this right. They deserve that. That's what this is about. This election is actually about the voters of Maricopa County. It's not about the candidates, and it's not about us.
That's right. It ain't about you, Carrie Lake. It ain't about you, Greg Kelly. I don't know where the fuck. I think he lives in New York or something.
All right, that sounds a little platitudinous and obvious.
Platitudinous? I've never seen one of those things before. I'd love to or whatever. I understand they have bills and claws and a beaver's tail and lay eggs.
I don't know. I don't know who to trust anymore. And your opponent is basically in charge of the mechanics of the election.
Wait, they have mechanics and nobody asked me to help?
She's in charge of part of it. Yeah, she'll be the one that has to certify it. And
yeah, she ain't. So, okay, so she's got to sign off on it. But even if she loses, that's true? Huh. Okay.
That she should have recused herself. Obviously, it's unethical.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? I think she should, if she loses, she should take a page out of your book and go, if she loses, then she recuses. Just refuse to sign. That's right. What's good for the goose is good for the shit through it. Yeah.
Ethical for her to remain in there, but she didn't. We figured that she wouldn't because she's an unethical person, and it didn't shock us at all.
Well, maybe plug it in. Maybe your batteries are just low.
The problem is, and my beef with Maricopa County is, we know that because of the laws the way they are, people can hand in their mail-in ballot right up until the last second.
You mean on voting day? They can. You're saying that in Maricopa County, people can vote on voting day. How do we stop that?
They need to be staffed for that, and they aren't staffed.
I feel staffed
for that. And so you have to work within the rules and laws that you have, and they need to rush this. They should be working around the clock.
What clock is that?
Counting ballots. We need to know who's going to be in position of power when it comes to Senate and Congress.
Oh, believe me, I know what the position of power is. Let me tell you, whatever. It's usually I find myself having to grab one leg and just it's a thing I learned watching a Prince video.
Congress, and we need to know who our elected officials are going to be.
Well, you don't get sworn in till January, so you got some time. I mean, it's not like it's going to be a bum rush. And by the way, it's probably going to be her, so she's already got everybody in the office. She's not going to have to hire anybody.
Actually, what we're going to do is take that problem away from them. We will reform the elections, working with the legislature.
And guarantee that you never have to have another election ever again. Good, okay.
I will sign meaningful election integrity legislation
like what?
Into law, and I
like what?
Can tell the people of Arizona tonight, when I am governor, we will never have an election run like this again.
You mean free and fair?
Every voter, Democrat, Independent, Republican, will go to bed on election night knowing their one legal vote counted and knowing who the winner is and trusting.
So you're going to hire as many people to count votes as there are people in the state. Brilliant. What a great use of state resources.
In the results of the election.
When is Inauguration Day?
Yeah. How much time do you have till Inauguration Day?
It's, I think, a week after I believe Inauguration Day is a week after taking the oath of office, and I believe the oath of office is January 2nd.
January 2nd. And you're going to
add 7 days by January 9th, if my estimation is right.
Right.
So with all of the electioneering that still has to be done, are you at all keeping one eye on the transition? I know some folks don't like to do that. It's potentially a jinx. But are you...
Yeah, it does anger the Lord.
Are you making any moves for the...
Oh, I'm making some
eventuality
moves.
You do become governor?
Yes. I'm not going to let the ineptitude of our elections officials and their slow and very slow counting of ballots slow us
Good.
down, because we...
No, absolutely. She's plenty slow enough. You got plenty of slow things. Don't let their slowness affect your slowness.
We have a lot to accomplish. We have a big agenda.
By the way, it might just be me, but I feel like we could probably enjoy her at a higher speed, maybe even.
And a bold agenda to secure our border, restore safety, stop the fentanyl crisis, and work to restore faith and honesty in our elections. So we've already been pulling a team together, holding meetings, and we will not slow down. We are 100% confident that we win, and I will be the governor of Arizona. We have to...
Oh my God, that's like, I felt like I was getting sprayed in the face with a America First hose.
Get through the next few days of counting, let them count the ballots. The inevitable is going to come.
So,
oh, believe me, I know the inevitable.
As we wrap up, I am no SNL fan. It's stopping.
Okay, SNL is terrible. Hold on, slow down, because you can only understand him at semi-normal speed.
Funny a long time ago. However, whoever played you, I think it was last Saturday night,
gave him a chubby.
Fairly good job. And I thought there were, I mean, did you see it? Did you get a kick out of it?
Were you happy to be mocked so vociferously?
I did see it. When my team told me I made SNL, I thought, wow, I must have arrived. But then I watched the skit, and I was waiting to laugh, and it was like, oh, man, they forgot. The woke mob has killed comedy.
That's true. I've never, honest to God, since all this shit started, there's like nothing funny about what's going on like, especially like online. Like, it's really pitiful. Like, it's like the left have lost like all sense of humor. The Democrats don't even know how to have fun anymore. Know what I'm saying? They don't know how to party, but not like I do. Come on now. Let's all do it. Let's go. I'm sorry I missed. This is weird though. I'm sorry I missed that SNL episode, but right now I feel like I'm getting double lake right now. Come on now. I feel like I'm getting, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes you get a slice of pimento loaf and sometimes you get a slice of just plain old bologna. You slap two of them together though and it kind of equals out.
Still rather watch like old episodes of the Johnny Carson show. It's way more funny.
That's true.
But
it is way more funny. I often say that phrase, way more funny. I was like, hey, Cletus, you're way more funny than the people who aren't funny.
That's true.
It was an honor.
You're right. It was not that funny, but she kind of got some of the mannerisms. And anyway, this comes with the territory. And
you're grossing me out, dude. He's like, yeah, I was, if you look at you from your bushes using binoculars, she looked kind of like you. It's funny. Like while I was watching SNL, I just put up my hands like this on my face, and it was like my regular weekend. It was so good.
I do think you should be flattered. Well, Carrie Lake, good luck. Hey, we might know more very shortly, correct?
Soon. Right. The dribs and drabs are coming out. And
yeah, dribs and drabs. I voted for drib in this election. Some of my friends voted for drab.
We're expecting the Democrats to gain a little bit tonight because of the...
Yeah, because there's more of them.
Ballots are coming from, these were mail-in ballots that came in very early, which pushes a little more Democrat. Even though we're doing well on some of these drops, we're expecting much better news in the next day and a half. We shall see. Depends on how fast they can count these ballots.
Yeah, I think they need to count them a lot faster.
But we feel absolutely confident. We have a movement. The people of Arizona know that we won, and we know we won based on our war room.
I know you won. You're going. She's always a winner to me. You can watch her in Arizona running for governor. You can hide in her bushes. If like Greg Kelly, you love her. You can watch her wear green, even though it's a mistake on TV. You know that she likes you, but she's really in love with me.
Which is filled with the smartest minds and,
I feel seen.
Statistics and elections, etc. And by the way, we have 60 attorneys on the ground, and we're watching.
Wow, 60 attorneys. That's expensive. What do you call 60 attorneys at the bottom of the ocean? A good start.
everyone like a hawk out there.
Why don't you have them watch them like attorneys? Honestly, they'd probably do you more good if attorneys looked at people like attorneys instead of like going, that person looks like a field mouse. Yummy.
So we're on it.
Sorry, last thing. You know, there
leave her alone. Okay, stop trying to hog her.
are a lot of rhinos out there who was.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, get after these other. I mean, you can attack the Democrats all you want to, but I'm only happy when you are taking a big shit on Republicans.
Trying to cancel President Trump.
Oh my God, no.
Trying to blame disappointing midterms all on him.
How dare they? Is that true? Oh my God, where's my lighter?
I don't buy that. He still has.
Well, I don't buy that either. I think it's not that. I want to know who's selling it. Okay.
My support and a big future. Where do you come down on that?
Let me see. I'm gonna go with she loves him, and his farts smell like fresh baked bread.
I believe he's going to get a win with me and Blake, and I even think Mark Finchem will pull out a win. Abe Hamaday, he's going to have.
No, I think Mark Finchem, if he pulls out anything, it'll be like Lauren Boebert's wife, her husband at a fucking bowling alley.
A great victory here in Arizona. President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party.
That's like being the leader of the Donner Party. Like, fuck, man. How much more are we going to walk in this direction? There was water back there.
I fully support him. I've heard rumblings that he might throw his hat in to run in 2024.
But as long as the wind isn't blowing.
I've already said we need him more than ever to undo some of the damage.
Well, we never needed him. So now we need him more than ever. 10 times 0 0.
Which Joe Biden has done. Nobody can fix the problems like President Trump can. And he's already proved.
You mean by leaving them unfixed? I think it's brilliant. By the way, this is probably one of the greatest pictures he's ever taken. I'm so glad they used it. Because while his head looks like it's got fiberglass on it, and it looks smaller than normal, and his jowls are kind of out of control, his nunt is less, he's like loosened his nunt, so it just looks like two separate rooster gizzards on either side as opposed to being pushed together like some naughty picture.
Proven that once. I fully support him and would fully endorse him if he did that. And we shall see.
Well, here's hoping this race turns out exactly like it looks like it's going to turn out so that you have a lot of free time to endorse him.
I'm excited. I would love to see President Trump do well. Fact of the matter is we have a lot of great Republicans out there.
Yeah, we don't need him. Fuck him.
Got great Republican governors.
You're not one of them yet, but God willing.
We have great President Trump, and
we have great President Trump. You already mentioned him. All right.
And we're in good shape. I see us leading the charge to restore America to its glory days for the next several decades. That's how
Yes. Donald Trump. Trump 3037.
I am in this Republican Party.
Very exciting. Carrie Lake, thank you very much. To be continued, and good luck.
And by to be continued, you mean you're going to fucking show up in her bushes. Thanks for watching, guys. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. There's so much. I have so much more. Here, we'll end on a nice note for a second. I don't have to do this video, but I do want to show you this. So, I know what you're thinking. How in the what? Wait a minute. Zoltan the military dog. Mark Levin, who we normally and with great regularity shit on, did a nice video apparently about don't forget our military canines on Veterans Day. Agreed. That's nice of you. Good for you that you like dogs. If only you liked your fellow human beings anywhere close. And by the way, look at this dog's ear tattoo. So you know it's the military dog. So if anything happens to it, because you can't put, ironically enough, dog tags on a dog. But pointing it out, Zoltan the military dog, I felt particularly seen in this situation. Thanks. Can anyone tell me why I haven't seen Stuttering John anymore? Laura, I think he's taking a break from his show for a little bit. I think he's just taking a break. Coretta, thank you so much. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, and anyways, tomorrow morning, regular show, the Houseparks radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio from 9 to 11 Pacific Time, AM. Johnny Million joining me for the show, and then the second hour, Philip Ittner will be calling in from Kharkiv, very close to a lot of the action, and not far from where a lot of the damage is being assessed, including some of the mass graves that they've had. So he's had a bit of a walk around, and he's in very close conversation these days with our dear friend Malcolm, and so we'll see how this plays out. But it's going to be, there's a lot of information. Literally, the push into Kherson is happening right now, continuing, and I believe they're going to push past the Dnipro as soon as they can. I think there's a chance they go for Crimea before the winter gets bad, because the weather is warmer down there near the water anyways. The water keeps it that way longer, as opposed to the northern areas closer to the Russian border, which will be colder. That there might be a head fake that we're going to take the top of that for a little while the Russians go, okay, well, and they hunker down in the snow and get ready to fight it off, and then they take Crimea. That would be fantastic. Thanks, Lori. Malcolm's home. Okay. He's been talking to, because he's going back and forth a bunch. Oh, one more Venmo, was there? Oh, Leslie, oh my gosh. Ficus, will you marry me? Please, oh. Ficus is a lifelong bachelor. I'm just saying. Hang on there a second, man. Not so fast. I could be talked into some nuptials if it's a little early in the season, but I am entertaining offers. I'm throwing that out there, and let's talk. I'm just saying, I have needs, and if you can fill them, wait. Thank you guys so much. Love you. Thanks you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up on your way out the door. If you stayed this long, I think you've probably, on some level, think I've earned it. I hope. And I will see you next time. Bye. Slippery button. Sorry. Thanks, Blue Moon. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Professor Funbags, for resubscribing for 2 years. Hooray! It's our 2-year anniversary. Thanks, Cynthia.